This is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome, welcome. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. It's been a long day.
As always, I'm exhausted.
It's been a big day. I feel like a lot got done today, but that could be just because
quite a bit.
Every time I tried to go outside to do something else, it started raining today.
Yeah.
It rained quite a bit. It felt like it was raining quite a lot.
We just came from the gym.
Yeah, for the first time in a while. Yeah.
Getting back into the swing of things.
I feel fine. I mean, those could be famous last words, but I feel fine.
Oh, we'll feel it tomorrow morning.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's always like when
I feel like I could have gone a little longer today.
My previous trainer had always said, he's like, you're not going to feel it the next day. You're going to feel it the day after that.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to.
Yeah, but I went light tonight.
Yeah.
I think you.
I went pretty light tonight. I could have gone more. Yeah. I didn't want to go fast, but I could have gone for longer.
First day back is always kind of, take a precaution of not overdoing it.
I mean, I'm always terrified. Like, I don't want to do anything.
Was it this time? Was it this time last year that we started, or was it a year? Will it be a year?
No, it was like January.
It was that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But you know what I can remember?
The rules. Oh, you and those famous segues of yours. We do have 3 rules here in the bubble for the sake of civility. 3 rules for our conversational output. And those are no judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick. Don't be a dick.
I'll try not to this time.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? Because I know you want to talk about something.
Well, I mean, in the interest of full disclosure, we had a conversation about how our ratings were not...
It's not our ratings.
No?
No.
It's not our ratings? So what is it then?
It's not our ratings. It's just that, we're sort of coasting right now.
Well, what I was going to say is that our numbers were much higher for more current events.
Well, we've been doing some fluff the last few weeks because I keep asking what you want to talk about and you have nothing to talk about.
We just fly by the seat of our pants.
So we just fly by the seat of our pants and it always ends up being fluff. So now I ask you, I put to you, sir.
Hang on, I need a Sam Jackson break.
Oh my God.
What? For those on audio, I have this sweet Sam Jackson mug to add to my collection.
Were you about to say Sam Adams?
Maybe. I was going to say Sam Ashton, I think.
Look at who's Sam Ashton?
I have no idea. But anyway, this is my new tea mug, and it's got a sweet picture of militant Sam Jackson on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Now, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, boy. So much to get to. I've been actively trying to stay away from current events, trying to keep the mood lighthearted at work, music.
Yeah.
Other podcasts and other things. I was listening to Christmas music this morning just to, keep me in a.
I don't know. You still seem to be telling me. I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about this.
Well, because when something ends, it's like, even if I put on like a 2 or 3 hour podcast, like if I put on Joe Rogan, who usually goes for like 3 hours, at the end of it, I gotta put
much podcast.
Well, I mean, my work day is at least 6 hours.
Same.
On the road, so I've got to have a few things in the chamber.
You should listen to this podcast. I
do.
Hear it's neat.
I do.
Yeah.
I always listen to this podcast. I'm trying to diversify my podcast, but so as of what's today? Today's Monday. Okay.
Currently it's Monday.
As of last night, we got word that the government shutdown, could potentially be ending. So, I mean, that's been a big thing for 40 days now. Like, air traffic controllers and military and other government employees not getting paid.
I gotta tell you, and this may make me a villain in someone's eyes somewhere.
Okay.
But I gotta tell you, this has not affected my life at all.
That leads me to the most important of questions.
The only way that I knew our government was shut down was because you told me. It's literally not affected my life at all.
I distinctly remember sitting in the Toyota waiting room at some point in the last 10 years. I want to say it was maybe maybe even later, like 2015, maybe 2013, somewhere. I can't remember exactly, but I remember sitting in there. The news was playing on the TV, and I'm scrolling on my phone. There was another shutdown going on at that point.
I remember that.
It was in October.
Because it was at that point that I asked somebody else, does this affect me? And they said no. And I was like, okay.
Because as soon as I started working for the post office, people were always just like, "Oh, does it affect you? Like, are you guys not coming to work?" I'm like, "No, we work. We're," because that's the funny thing about.
Well, isn't the post office technically a private organization?
No,
it's not.
It's not a private organization. It is a department of the United States government. It's just that our revenue is generated from sales and services, which is something that most people don't know. Because, as I've said to a couple of people in the last week, who are under the impression that, you know, our tax dollars pay our salary, which is just not true at all. Like,
the more you know.
You get those irate people who are just like, I pay your salary. Like, no, you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
Postage pays
you
our salary.
You work for me.
Like, you're buying stamps and tracking numbers. That's what pays our salary. You know?
Yeah. My saying that brings you to a point.
No, I was going to ask you, do you know anybody who's been affected by this personally? Do you personally know anyone who's actually been affected by this?
I might, but I wouldn't know.
Nothing off the top of your head? See, generally that's
Shake's head
me
now.
too. Like I haven't been exposed to or talked to or heard from anyone who's been directly affected by it the same way I haven't known, heard from, talked to anyone who's been affected by the expiration of SNAP benefits.
Well, I got to tell you that all of these things, when I think about the people that they affect directly, the only way that the government shutdown has affected people I know directly is that they seem to not be able to talk or focus on anything else. It's like it's so significant to them for no reason whatsoever.
Well, I mean, if you're doing your job for 40 days and not getting paid, I mean, that's
I don't know those people. I'm talking about your everyman on the street who's just like, oh, well, let's get angry about this now.
I have a confession to make.
Are you that guy?
No.
Okay.
So I've been unfamiliar with the inner workings of the branches of government until the last couple of years. So, like, the thing I keep hearing is the whole 60 vote thing in the Senate. You have to have 60 votes in order to pass anything, minimum 60. And currently that would mean that a handful of Democrats would have to side with Republicans in order to vote on, you know, this continuing resolution that they're talking about, which now all those guys are being labeled as traitors or, you know, whatever. And I think it's ridiculous because you have some common sense people who are just like, yeah, this needs to get back on track. Like, people need to get paid, you know, programs need to work as they were designed to. And just, it's one of those things I wish I could ignore, but, you know, I have to stay informed to some degree.
It's not even, that's just it, is that you talk about the idea that it's something that you can or cannot ignore. Like, it's not like it's in anyone's face. It's only in someone's face when someone else puts it there.
Right.
That's been my experience.
And if this were a year ago or 2 years ago, somebody would be putting it in my face. Actually, a few people would be putting it in my face.
And then you'd be tossing it right back at them, which is just, and then I'd get a headache.
But I've made the responsible decision to eliminate those people from my daily meetings.
You know, you have to say, common sense wins.
Well, neither one of them were going to eliminate me from, you know, their interactions.
Well, no, why would they when you're such an easy mark?
Gee, thanks.
No, because that's what they see you as.
I know.
You're an easy target because you do get passionate about things. So if they want to prove that people are angry, they'll just come to you.
I've tried to breeze past this kind of stuff to kind of just let it slide, but they know how to push. These people in question have known how to push my buttons, and it's when they press and press and press over time, it's just kind of, it's unfair. I've always felt I shouldn't have to get heated, but, you know,
you don't have to.
I don't.
You still don't have to.
Right.
I mean, you don't have
Again, it's not, it hasn't,
you don't have to have those buttons.
It hasn't directly affected me, but, you know, there's always this what if kind of scenario, like what happens when it comes to our door or when it affects somebody that we know.
How about if? There is no when. It's an if.
Like,
it's always going to be an if. And in fact, it's always been an if.
Like, what I've heard from the beginning of this was always so many people are going to lose their health insurance. Health insurance benefits and subsidies are going to run out. And that's not fair. And now 50,000, Chuck Schumer's been saying 50,000 people are going to die.
Isn't this the same argument that was being made 20 years ago about Social Security is going to run out? And then what?
I guess.
Like, I mean,
okay. but then towards the end of October, there were all the focus was on SNAP benefits. Now, certain people, 18 million people in the country aren't going to be able to get food. And you have these people going on, news interviews and whatnot saying, I can't get my food, I'm going to starve, I'm going to go hungry. And some people being like, I'm just going to steal and don't you try and stop me.
Do you think enough people know that food comes from the earth? I wonder that sometimes when people say, how am I going to eat? It's grow it.
It's all propaganda. It's all fucking propaganda that
it is a lack of common sense.
People have chosen to use as fuel to get people riled up over nothing, because I don't think anybody's really going hungry. I don't think anybody's really going to lose their insurance. And if they do, or if their premiums are going to increase, they're not going to get doubled, tripled, or quadrupled like certain media outlets are saying. That's just,
our premium went up.
Our premium is going up $60 a month. That's not double. That's certainly not quadruple.
But it's still upsetting.
It is upsetting. But we also have options. Now here's a conversation that I can't believe actually took place. But I took to social media to post. No. This was a while ago. This is over and done with. But I took to social media to say, if these people are worried about losing benefits of any kind, like, why can't they just go get a job? Like, I've been employed since I was 14 years old.
Well, that's just people can go get jobs, but they don't want those jobs.
Okay, get a different job. Look for a different job. Entertain the idea of seeking out employment in any sort of field, whether you're qualified for it or not. Like, go to work. Now, I understand, and this is, anybody is free to disagree with me, you or anyone else, should they choose to, but I can absolutely understand if somebody can't work. If somebody has a disability, if somebody has some sort of condition or some sort, any kind of instance where it forbids them from holding a traditional job. But something that I've been seeing a lot of in my research is there are people who rely on these programs and then treat it like a lifestyle.
Yes.
Like, there just, to me, seems like a level of immorality. Is that a word? Immorality
is a word.
Like,
you find it immoral?
I find it incredibly immoral. Like, again, I have worked full time since the age of at least 18.
Same.
Okay. From 14 to 18, it was just whatever I could get my hands on. But full time since 18, I know you can appreciate this because you've probably done it. Worked full time and been a full time student. There were times.
Yes. The short answer is yes. There is a long story that goes along with it, though, and it makes me smirk a little.
Well, we can get to that. There were times where I was holding 2 full-time jobs and being a full-time student.
Yep.
So, I mean, and granted, I was able-bodied. I've been able-bodied since I started in the workforce. I haven't been
able-bodied since I was in high school.
But I have never, gone and first of all, I've never relied on the government at large to carry me. Like, I applied for unemployment once in 2015 and had it for about 2 months while I tried to secure another job.
That was
it.
I was on disaster unemployment during quarantine because my entire industry shut down.
Because, like, and I've heard people in podcasts talk about this, they're just like, yes, these programs are designed for certain people who need it. But a lot of these people in question look at it as something to be, not necessarily be ashamed of, but it's like, it's not something you want to be on forever. Like, you should want to, and I guess this is, subjective, but most people, I would think, should want to get back on their feet and be self-sustaining at some point.
Well, this is just is that the idea of these programs,
subsidized programs,
but the idea of these programs in general, the idea of it being livable is outrageous to me. It's like
why are we incentivizing that?
I mean, it's not even the incentivizing of it, but it's like, let's say someone offered you $200 a month $200 a month. I'll give you cash money, $200 a month, and I hope you'll buy food with it. And I'll be like, oh, thank you. I needed this, blah, blah, blah. But like, think of what $200 a month will buy you as far as food goes. Personally, I'd be pissed off after like a week. I'd be like, so we can buy, you know, it's like everything in the grocery stores is overpriced. So it's like, how are we going to stretch $200 for a month?
Yeah, but it's
like, I cannot fathom the idea of being okay with what is being given out to me.
So do you think that pigeonholes people into buying the cheapest stuff to be able to maximize the the allotment?
I think that I don't want to generalize and I don't want to assume, but I think that a lot of people who rely on these programs for prolonged subsistence, not for assistance, for subsistence, prolonged subsistence. I don't believe these people are looking for like organic fruits and veg.
Of course not.
Like, that's just it, you know?
Because those cost infinitely more.
But that's not why. I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's the lifestyle that they're aiming at.
Well, I mean, you know, SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Now, can we focus just for a second on the supplemental part of that?
Okay. You want to break it down one by one?
Yeah, supplemental. Okay. Let's just focus on that, seriously, because the rest is nutritional assistance program.
Right.
Okay, but forget the nutritional assistance program. That's nice. Everybody can get a nap, whatever. But we're talking about the supplementalness of it. For anyone who is unaware of what supplemental means it supplements other sources.
Right. It's not the entirety of what you spend on groceries. Exactly.
So if you are reliant on the SNAP program to be able to eat at all, then you are not doing it right.
Now, for those who are unaware, where does the money for SNAP come from?
Does it come from taxes?
Bingo.
Ah!
And who pays the taxes?
I do.
Mm-hmm. And I do. Ugh. Except that's a whole other topic of debate.
Yeah.
Because for all time, people have argued over who pays more taxes. Who, you know, like, I keep hearing that the top 1%ers are the ones paying, what is it, 25 to 50% of all the taxes?
Yeah.
And I always, these, like, you know, suppose that's true. Okay? That could I mean, I don't have facts and figures on hand, but that's something that I keep hearing.
Well, I have, over the course of I've been working for 25 years now. Okay? And as I have shifted through the roller coaster of tax brackets, because I have, I've lived below the poverty line. I've lived above the poverty line. I've been lower middle class. I've been middle class.
There's a middle class?
I've never been upper middle class. I look forward to that one day.
I still don't know what constitutes each one.
It's literally a number that the government came up with. That's it.
Like, I remember seeing one time that, like,
I'm sorry, I can't reach my slipper.
Lower class was supposed to be like earning less than $38,000 a year.
But that's just it. Is that, like, as I have made more money, I have paid more taxes.
Right.
Like,
that's how it works.
That's how I've always understood it to work. So when people started reeling about how, you know, the upper class doesn't pay their fair share, it's like, I'm sorry, how is that possible? How is it possible to believe that? It's like, they make more money.
Therefore, mathematically,
even if they pay a higher percentage of their taxes, they're still going to keep more money than you because they made more. That's how it works. But
that's not good enough for some people.
No, it's not. It's not good enough. It's not good enough because taxes shouldn't exist and money should just come from somewhere. It's like taxes are a reality. It sucks, but it's a reality.
Like everybody's up in arms now about this mayor-elect of New York City.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say his name because it just sounds silly. It sounds like a cartoon. Mom Donnie.
Well, he's Muslim.
It still sounds like a cartoon.
Okay. What about him? Other than his funny name.
He's promising to raise taxes on the rich and, quote, specifically white neighborhoods. He's promising free education, free buses, city-owned grocery stores.
And I can understand what my questions would be. Is that, okay, free buses. How?
Exactly.
Like, it has to come from somewhere.
Like,
it's going to come from these white neighborhoods?
Like,
it's like the white neighborhoods aren't making more money than they were.
We don't have the horse in the race because we don't live in New York City. But in the days that followed the election, I'm seeing all these news articles and thinking, how long before it trickles down? How long before something affects something that does affect us? Like, when people start leaving the city for places like, I don't know, all these new apartments that are getting built right in our downtown area. When those people start buying up real estate left and right and renting it out to people who can barely afford it. When the influx of people, whether it be the ultra wealthy or not, just start coming into suburban areas like ours. And then all of a sudden our streets are crowded more. Our urgent cares and hospitals are crowded more, and all of our taxes go up.
That's an if, right? That's a big fat if.
Well, I mean, I
think it's a little presumptuous to jump the gun and think that people are going to move from New York City to bumfuck Connecticut.
So hold on there. First of all, some of it's in progress. Second of all, historically, we've seen it because that's exactly what happened in my hometown when people of my parents' generation started moving out of the city, out of places like the Bronx to the suburbs, and eventually landing here. And there was another mass migration in the early 2000s, and it continued over time because, as my mother always would comment on, this is when they started building more and more mansions in our town.
But, now I have a but for you. But how much more expensive is it now to live here than it used to be?
Well, our taxes have gone up in a very short amount of time.
So have property values because of an influx of new businesses and things like that, and all of this new real estate being built and everything, especially commercial real estate. And all of this nonsense and everything. Like, if I were living in New York right now and my taxes went up, Connecticut is not where I'm looking because it's not cheaper to live here.
But you have to admit that there are some people who can afford to live here, who would choose to live here because they don't have to worry about all the other social issues or the other political issues that are going on in said areas.
Maybe. I'll give it a solid maybe. I don't think that it's a guarantee. And I don't think I'd lose sleep over it.
I mean, I have family that are quite uncomfortable with his being elected because of where he stands on certain political issues or who he's backed by or who supports him. And, it's
understandable.
It's a very, it's very discomforting for them. And I can sympathize.
Well, I mean, we had, you shared with me, some podcast perspectives on these issues and everything. And I have to agree that, the whole idea of this is like the continuation of the American dream and everything. And it's just like, this is not the American dream. The American dream is not actually socialism.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you had been a supporter of, democratic socialism at one point. Was that you, or was that just somebody else that I talked to?
I don't support it. I understand it. Okay. I see the benefits thereof, but
so then
we're not in an ideal world here.
I certainly know people who've vocalized support for democratic socialism.
So have I.
But I've also heard evidence to support the idea that socialism, and particularly communism, which is what a lot of people can't seem to separate the two. They think it's all the same thing.
They are in fact vastly different.
But their whole argument is that it hasn't worked before. Why is it going to work now?
We, as Americans, are not programmed for socialism. We're just not. We want to believe in the way that it's always been explained to me, right? Capitalism is a system in which anyone can be rich, but anyone can also be poor.
Mm-hmm.
Communism is no one is allowed to be rich. And socialism is anyone can be rich, but no one can be poor. It's a complicated system in that you know, in a dream bubble maybe sounds like a good idea, but we as Americans were never fostered on that idea.
I find it hard to believe under any circumstances that nobody could be poor.
But that's the whole point.
Because it's all relative. Like, for example, you know, some people may not be making as much money as we are, but we're certainly not making as much money as some people that we know.
But it does not allow for the types of inflation on the cost of living that capitalist societies always have.
But who bears the burden there? Who, you know?
Everybody. That's the socialist part of it. It's on everybody to maintain that.
And then that takes away from free market. Like I can
I'm not trying to sell you on socialism.
No, I know you're
I'm
not.
just explaining how it's always been explained to me.
Like, I've always thought, you know, why can't the rich pay a little bit more if they're rich? If they're earning $1 million or more a year, which seems like, let them pay. But then again, I'm thinking to myself, if I were making $1 million a year and somebody all of a sudden was just like, well, I think you should pay more because you're making more. If I were in that position, I'd think, well, why should I? I'm already paying, you know, the percentage for the bracket that I'm in. This is my money from my employment that I earn doing what I do. Why should somebody else just be able to come in and say, well, now you have to pay more because I said so, or because we changed the tax code, or because, you know, socially we think it's more beneficial to hammer you for more money? Like,
personally, I understand what you're saying, but I think that it's grotesque for anyone to make that much money. I think it's absolutely grotesque. I think it's on the brink of immoral. I mean, when you look at, I don't side with a lot of people on things, but I have to see some common sense behind the idea of these billionaires who could benefit so many worldwide issues and everything, but instead they go to space. It's like I have to see the good side of that argument, what it is to me.
But who's to say that he is not benefiting certain, you know, groups of people in other areas for other means? Like, just because we're not seeing a direct benefit from Elon Musk's spending of his money doesn't mean that his wealth is not going to good use elsewhere.
One can only hope.
Like, you tell me all the time that just because I don't see you do certain things around the house doesn't mean that they don't get done, or doesn't mean that
I'm not suggesting that these people don't do philanthropies and whatnot. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that, you know, if an issue can be solved, why not solve it? And it's the same thing that we talk about when we talk about war, right? War doesn't have to happen, but it's too profitable to stop.
Well, that's just it. Some people see the profit in it and think, well, you know, why shouldn't I have my hand in that?
And maybe that's, you know, something that the haves, immoral. Maybe that's something that the haves, you know, talk about at their little haves club meetings about, you know, how to keep the have-nots down. How to keep the have-nots striving, grinding away to be the haves.
There was some other point I wanted to make, but it escaped me in that.
Was it about socialism?
Maybe.
Was it about Connecticut?
Connecticut. No.
I don't know. Like, I mean, that's just it. Is that there have been upheavals over the last 10 years that have upset me, that have spurred me
Oh,
to
now I remember what it was.
feel argumentative and to passion and things like that. But the fact of the matter is that not a single one of them have caused me to lose sleep.
Like, the thing that really has gotten me is I've had friends who've gotten so vocal about their support of people like Bernie Sanders and AOC and people of their ilk, and we have to make this happen. We have to make democratic socialism happen. But the thing is that these people in particular are very wealthy. And I find it a little hypocritical that we're going to be lectured about, paying our fair share and government subsidies and tax the rich and all this from people whose net worth has dramatically increased since their time in politics.
And that's where you have to realize that
like, when are they going to pay?
There's a difference between socialism and communism. They're not advocating for communism.
I'm not saying they are, but...
And just because they advocate, they're saying, yeah, let's tax the rich. Do you think they're saying, but not me? Like, maybe they're willing to pay their fair share.
Maybe.
No one has said that they're not.
That's a big maybe.
But no one is. Excuse me, I just spit everywhere. My passion came out.
Can you agree that people should not make a decades-long career out of politics?
Oh, I don't think anyone should make a career out of politics. I think it's gross.
We've danced around the idea of term limits for decades. Like, why has that not become a thing? Because I'm on the fence trying to think, if people had term limits, would they do the most they possibly could in that short amount of time, or would they just fuck off like they've been doing?
Personally, I would rather have an age cap than term limits.
I'd rather have both.
Well, I would rather have both also, but I mean, you see these people, it's like
Nancy Pelosi's finally stepping down.
National fucking retirement age, and yet all of the politicians are upwards of 80.
Because let's be honest, okay? There's so many people who've spent decades in politics who people will criticize and say, they've spent 40 years in politics and never done anything. Now, I can't believe that, because I'm sure they've done things just for their constituents or people that, they support them, and vice versa. It's just that, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
No.
And, the Republican caucus is not necessarily Nancy Pelosi's, main priority.
Right.
But the fact that we're at a 40-day shutdown and these people, they voted on a continuing resolution 15 times. Mm-hmm. And the big argument is the Obamacare subsidies. That's what's in question, because the Republicans keep saying that they don't want to continue to fund health insurance for illegal immigrants, and the Democrats keep saying that Donald Trump is keeping the government shut down for whatever. They're all blaming each other, and
my IQ hurts.
I know, right?
My IQ hurts when anyone tries to tell me that the president is holding up the shutdown. This is a vote in the Senate.
And the House.
Right. Two things that the president does not actually have a vote in.
And some things that a lot of people are not very well educated on, but love to speak about as if they were.
Oh, that's shocking.
Like, this is part of the reason why I took it upon myself to start learning these things, because I will willingly admit there was a time where I spoke without being educated. Okay. I would do exactly what I'm talking about right now. I would regurgitate things that I had heard as if I was so 100% sure of what I was talking about, and come to find out that I was pretty ignorant on the subject.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't ever want to be wrong again. I don't ever want to be misinformed. So I'm going to take it upon myself to learn before I speak. Mm-hmm. And that's how I found out about what's been going on. But the thing is, like I said, it's still this back and forth bullshit of one side blaming the other.
Always.
And meanwhile, we, the people, are caught in the crosshairs. And it's just like, all you guys are fine. You guys have way more money than all of us. So you'll weather the storm, no problem. But how about you throw us a bone every once in a while? Or how about more than once in a while?
It's this whole idea of outrage that I feel really blah about. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't even remember the last time I was outraged.
Like, I remember right before John Fetterman became, what was he? He's a senator?
He's a senator
He's a senator
now,
in
yeah.
Pennsylvania. Right before,
Yes.
people are talking about how crazy he is and how ridiculous he looks in gym shorts and a hoodie and this and that and the other thing, and he's not qualified and blah, blah, blah. And now you have Republicans cheering him because he's the most common sense Democrat for leading the charge on reopening the government.
Yeah.
And they're just like, man, I didn't give him the time of day when he was running, but man, is he making sense now? And it's just like, why can't we get to that point where people stop identifying everybody based on their politics and say, listen, we have problem A, we need solution B, let's use mean C and get there.
This has been an issue since, I'm going to go probably 25 years. I'm going to say, because that's when, in my lifetime, it feels like it really started. It really started with the 2000 election when...
Well, that's really when you started paying attention. I mean, this could have been going on for a long time before that.
In my lifetime, that's when it seemed to start to me. Yes. And that was just it, is that it became very significant to pick a side. Because one side was right and the other side was stupid. And it didn't matter which side you were on, that's how you felt. And to remain a moderate for as long as I have, I don't know about you, but to remain a moderate for as long as I have has felt very alienating and very insulating. And it's just like, I keep my mouth shut, not because I'm nervous about confrontation or anything like that. Confrontation doesn't affect me whatsoever. I keep my mouth shut because I'm a pacifist and I'm not here to stir the pot. I have my opinions and I don't give a shit what others' opinions are because they're allowed to have them. Just the same way that I wouldn't want them opening their mouth because I have an opinion they disagree with. That's fair play. So that's not the game. That's just common courtesy.
I was, you said earlier that you wanted to do whatever you could to make me, the one thing you would change about me is to make me happier.
Yes.
I remember a time being...
I'm so nice.
You certainly are. I remember a time being happier when I was oblivious to all of this shit. But the thing is that over time, I started to notice when and where it was affecting me, and it was largely in the wallet when it came to these sorts of things, like taxes being increased or the mill rate being increased, or having to pay, like for example, when you moved in here and you found out Connecticut has a car tax versus New York having nothing. Yeah, I know.
It's so upsetting.
And it's just like, and things like that started to get me to think, if this is like this here, who's to say that some other state in the country is completely different? Whereas another state may have no car tax, no property tax, no income tax. They just get their tax monies elsewhere. They have some other way of funding it. But, we won't know that until we start looking into it. But it makes one wonder, if one state can get by without a car tax, say New York, why can't another one? We have the reason people need to get involved, or at least get educated, is to say, well, these guys are doing it this way and they're doing just fine. Why can't we do that? Why can't we fund it some other way? Why can't we at least look into it?
And that's just it, is that I think that it's just
I think people are stuck in their ways.
It is a matter of people being stuck in their ways. And I think that's where the argument comes in. That's like, if you don't like it, go somewhere else kind of a thing.
Oh, I can't wait.
Same, right?
This is not the Connecticut I grew up in anymore.
I didn't even grow up in Connecticut.
I mean,
this is not the Connecticut I grew up with.
Listen, by the time I left Sandy Hook, I'd lived there long enough to watch it change, not for the better. And now that I've been in New Milford as long as I have, I've lived here long enough to watch it change and not for the better.
Yeah.
Because I remember what drew me to this town, and it's just not that, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
I remember being in the tax assessor's office one time. I think I just went in there it's when we still had the van for the band. and it was in my name. So but I got the tax bill, and it was ridiculously high for the age of the car. And I said, the tax assessor is a friend of mine. I said, you've seen this piece of crap. It's not worth that much. She's like, hang on, let me run the numbers again. She came back. She's like, give me $49. We'll call it even.
See, and that seems a little sketchy to me.
Well, compared to the $350 or $400 they wanted to charge me.
Yeah, but they can just change it like that. You can just argue your taxes, and it's just like, here, just slide me a 50.
But here's the thing: I was paying already $300-400 for my car, which was much, much newer, so that made more sense, or at least based on previous payments, that's what it made sense to me. So this other car that's at least 15 years old, to be paying the same amount, it's just like, wait a minute, there's a lot more wear and tear and a lot more miles on this thing, and it needs a hell of a lot more work. There's no way that the tax could be anywhere comparable to my much newer everyday vehicle, which is why I went in there. But again, as I'm standing at the counter waiting to be seen, the mill rate history is posted on the wall, and I'm watching it year by year just incrementally go up. And it's just like, does it ever go down? Does it ever and the answer is no.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about that with the price of milk. You see the price of gas go up and down, but the price of milk only ever goes up.
Here's the thing about the price of gas, because I briefly worked at a full service gas station years ago. Briefly, like a couple months. And people would always say, like, people to hear people talk about, the difference between the price at one station versus another.
Yeah.
It's like, it's $2.39 over here. Oh, wait a minute, it's $2.29 over here. It's like, do the math on how many gallons your tank holds. You're saving what, a couple of bucks? Because I'm standing there one day and I'm looking at the price differences between regular and premium. And it's like, if I filled my tank with premium as opposed to regular, I'm spending a couple more dollars, like maybe $3 more.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, that's not going to break my bank. Even back then when I was making less money.
No.
But people treat it as if it's this monumental, difference.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, it all seems, every single one of these issues seems like a designed outrage.
Yeah. You think it's manufactured?
I think that the outrage is manufactured. I think that not nearly as many of these people who bitch and moan as loudly as they do about all of these issues, I don't think that many of them actually care about it.
It's just designed to...
I think that it is just...
get a reaction.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think that the outrage is necessary. It is a factor in the game. And I, for one, am really tired of being foisted into playing this game. It's like having a sprained ankle in gym class, and it's like, I'd like to sit out now. No, you have to, or you're getting an F for the day. It's like, then give me a goddamn F. I will take the F. I have spent a lot of time over the last decade talking to no one, because I am too solid a personality to allow someone to drag me into these stupid arguments, these dumb games. I'm not a player in this game, so I choose not to care. And to people who want to play the game, they think that that's irrational. They think it's irrational. And yet it's actually, isn't it the most rational to make the decision to choose peace of mind over a game that literally there is no winning?
But at what point do you enter it? You can't, I mean, do you actually attempt to stay out of it forever? I mean, because what happens when it does come knocking at your door?
I vote.
They say that all the time. It's always, we have to vote these people out. If you don't like the way things are, vote, new people in. But that doesn't always solve the problem.
Time. I'm not a believer that
Like
The problems that affect me must be solved tomorrow.
like as far as governmental politics goes, no, it's not really affecting your life personally, but local politics sure as hell are.
Yeah.
Because look at all the crap we deal with this useless board we have where we live. Like, how many times have we complained to them about the neighbors, the dogs,
Listen,
the this and that and the other thing, and they refuse to do jack shit? I have sent email after email and made phone call after phone call, sent text after text.
And you have made those moves to no avail.
And these people who are charged with enforcing the rules, whose job it is to meet and agree on a set of rules that are to be enforced by laws, which, you know, they're supposed to enforce the rules. They're supposed to make everybody follow them. They're supposed to govern, you know, within our community. But all they seem to do is raise our fees and pick and cherry pick which special projects they want to keep taking our money and using them on.
And for the sake of my own peace of mind, I choose to let go of the things that I feel are futile and have taken the law into my own hands in other matters.
And we won't get into that.
We won't get into that because to some people it might make me look bad.
Listen, I would love nothing more than to take the law into my own hands.
I know you would.
I am also not about to risk my freedom because I value that too much.
I'm not risking anyone's freedom. All I did was spend a couple of bucks on some stuff.
Just stop now.
Listen, everything. When people's lives are turned into a goddamn game, I quit. Like, that's just it. And that's just it, is that all of this outrage over all of these issues that do not necessarily affect you on not you, the royal you, on a daily basis, to wake up and choose outrage is nonsensical to me.
Listen, I am certainly not waking up and choosing outrage. I'm not even getting outraged. Like, I'm not outraged right now.
I'm not suggesting you are.
But for example, like if I know it's another what if scenario, but like if our property taxes double tomorrow, I'd be outraged because that, you know, would have come out of nowhere. And it's just like, well, where's your justification? What is the reason for this? It's just like in my job, you know, when I got converted to career status, I was lied to by my boss. Yes, I'm going on record saying this. I was lied to by my boss about the date in which it took place. It took place a full month before he said it was going to take effect. And in that month, I was not assigned to the route that I would end up taking full time. I was jumping around at his whim because that's how he likes to run the office. And in conversations with him, once I confronted him about it, of course, he denied it, you know, to no end. I said, why didn't you just explain it to me? Why didn't you just take me aside behind closed doors and say, I need you to hold out for another month just to cover this until, you know, things change or take effect or we get more help or whatever. I'm like, if you had explained it to me, if you had trusted me that I would, you know, understand, I would have. But he either didn't want me to know or didn't think I could handle it. And I thought that was very immature of him.
Maybe he's just a big pussy.
And so that caused a giant rift between us for the you know, next several years because I couldn't trust him anymore. It's like, I'm a rational human being and I used to think that he was. But once I found that out, that, you know, and I have definitive information. And I went to him, I said, why did you lie to me? How dare you accuse me of lying? I go, I got concrete proof right here. Do I need to show this to HR? Like what is the matter with you? And it's the same thing with every other issue on the table. It's like, if there is a rational justification, explain it to us. Make sense of it.
There's no money in that.
Of course not, because that is at the root of it all.
Yes. And to make everything about the money, and the numbers and everything is, I believe, the objective of the game. I believe is to make everyone so concerned about money that it's the only thing they pay attention to. And I don't know what the end game is yet. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I do believe that the objective currently is to make everyone concerned with the money.
See, this is precisely why I don't take advantage of overtime. I don't need the money. I don't want the money. And I sure as shit don't want to be out there in the dark every night, especially this time of year. And for the entirety of my career, when I can be home with my family and my friends and my sanity.
And the dog.
And away from the idiots who drive like nobody's looking. And, like, you heard me complain about 3 people who cut me off today. 3 people within a 5-minute window.
Yeah, that's how long it took you to tell me about it.
Like, but that's just it. I don't want overtime. I never wanted overtime. People make a big deal out of the list of packages in our scanner. It's just like, oh, I got to make sure that's clear. I got to make sure everything's off of it. It's like, I deliver what's in my hamper. Okay. Whatever makes its way to my hamper goes in my truck, and then it goes to the people's houses, and that's it. Mm-hmm. If there is something on my scanner that did not make its way to my truck, I can't be held responsible for that because somebody didn't do their job and make its way to my hamper.
Mm-hmm. I get it. But that's just it, is that it's not about a job well done or, doing good work or making people proud or anything like that. It is about money, and they want that objective to trickle down. They want it to trickle down so that less people are concerned with things like equality and justice and things like that because there's no money in it. And I think that that's the game. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
It's a stupid game. I think we should play a different one.
It's a real stupid game. Well, that's why you and I play Jeopardy on the video.
And that's why you kick my ass at Final Jeopardy every night.
I'm good at puzzles.
Final Jeopardy is always my weak spot.
Yeah.
Because that's when I either go big or I don't bid enough, and then I always get it wrong.
I know the answers. I'm just not quick on the trigger. We should do that. Let's go play Jeopardy.
Done.
This was a good talk. I don't think it was productive at all, but I think that I think we said some shit.
I don't know. Maybe we educated some people. Maybe we got some people to start thinking differently. Maybe, we
and if we made you mad,
invoked some humanity in people.
Maybe even some humidity too. You never know.
I haven't had enough tea. Maybe I had too much.
Maybe. Thank you out there in podcast land for tuning in. This was a blast. We got some stuff coming. You got a thing.
November 22nd, yeah. Dead Language Brewing. We are back.
Tax collectors and harlots.
The tax collectors and the harlots.
Yeah, find them. We'll be there. I'll be there with bells on. Sadie will be there with bells on. And
I'm going to hold you to that.
We got to get some bells.
Silver Bell.
Find us on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's.
Busy sidewalk.
Find Love Hard Art. I got some new stuff up on the web store, so please check that out. lovehardart.com. Find Coat of Arms Tattoo on Instagram and go patronize because the holiday season are coming up and gift certificates are always a good
Did you
thing.
even tell our listeners about the new piece that you got?
Which one? I got a little thing. I don't know if I've mentioned it. Yeah.
When they had the Halloween Flash.
Halloween Flash event with the strangers playing, and it was a good time, and we told them about that. But
I love that they opened with the Munsters. That was awesome.
But I got a little kitty. I got a little kitty cat on my side butt, and it's finally healed, so it doesn't itch anymore. Thank God. Although now I have this weird spot on my neck because it itched the other day. I'm gonna have to figure that out. If you have home remedies, feel free to email us. Check out our sites. You can find all of our videos streaming on YouTube, dtandandjjstar.com. And you can find this podcast, this one, streaming everywhere. If you go to ttppodcast.com, download the Podbean app and give us a thumbs up because it'll help us make money. And
TP.
What do you got? Anything else going on?
Tomorrow's Veterans Day.
Tomorrow's Veterans Day. And to you.
Salute your veterans. Remember your veterans.
Yeah.
I got a few in the family I'll be thinking of.
Same.
Alive and dead.
And I think that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. From the three of us at That Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
We'll talk to you later.